work ethic is been. Then he will send it out! Raise the roof! Henry flexes on it.
Get around here. Give you the fist pump. He pumps that fist. This will be a 7. You called it early. They have written him. Johnson just stayed at home. Had his hand on the ball. Drive. Puts the shot up. How did he get that in? Good shot. 3 seconds. Molly Kendrick turn away jumper. That is who you want to get the ball there.
Yep.
Oh!
And that is your Kodak moment.
There he goes.
You have to really.
And here we go, Ullman and Lua Ding. We're underway. Hoppo takes it straight up. He's on Rewa. That's a size mismatch. And rims out. Centenaro, the Central's captain, brings the ball back and gets us underway. A fast start straight off the bat. Big rebound there by Zinza. Sporting the sleeve. That's an impressive one. And now Brown. Sorry, Hoppo now. Here's Ullman. Ullman looking to post up. He works his way around, gets the jump on Ding, and scores the first points of the night.
Getting us underway. Zach Ullman leading the way for South Adelaide and in this game now.
And
great move to the basket. Absolute lightning Chol luck opens the account straight away. Big answer from Central Districts.
And now Jonek gives it off. Here's Brown. Brown to Ullman. Ullman to Brown. Brown to Zinza. Zinza out to Jonek. Expect him around the 3-point line this entire match. Here's Brown again. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Great ball movement, but denied by Devon Jones. Here he is on the other end of the court. The sky hook.
Both ends from one to the other. Starts and finishes that sequence of play. Inspirational stuff early from Devon Jones.
Of course, he's one of their imports as well. We'll talk about it a bit more later. Here's Jonek. And now Ullman. What about that? Deserved to go in. Doesn't fall. And Centenaro bringing it up. Centenaro been with the club for a while. Devon Jones steps out of bounds. And Hopper would have had a slice of that if it had stayed in bounds, but it didn't.
Unfortunate for South Adelaide not grabbing it straight away, but they still retain the possession nonetheless.
Look, nearly getting called for the foul there. And Brown to Ullman, playing up high. And Jonek now looking to set things up. Jonek, more of a shooting guard than a point guard, but a great player nonetheless. Ullman not happy about the call there.
He came off his knee. I don't think there was a foul on that. That looked pretty clean. Umpire was behind the play a little bit, but we saw it from the open side here, so that looked okay.
Here's Look, who looked to get a fair few looks on the outside. Rewa, one of the best ball handlers in the league. Devon Jones gets called for the travel. Anticlimactic, considering his dynamic start to the match. And now, Zinster. Looking for options. He has Jonek at the top of the key. He puts up the long 3 ball. And no good. Here's Rewa looking to move the ball quickly. He goes himself. The athleticism from the American. He steps back outside, takes the 3 ball, and that's how you do it. Jordan Rewa, the Minnesota State Uni alumni.
Alumni?
I don't know what I said there, to be honest, but here's Hoppo.
Centrals are up and about. South Adelaide need to respond right here. They are up and about. And that's how you get back into the game with an and one. Great drive to the basket. Jonek leading the way and will step to the line to take a bonus in a 3-point play.
Strong from Jonek. And here he is now. South have made the trip out to Starplex. That's a fair travel from Marion up to Gawler.
It's an hour. It's an hour. It's never fun, but that's okay.
You'd say it's one of the toughest trips in the competition to make, but now we have Mount Gambier in the competition, so can't really complain too much. This is good from Brown, looking for options. Well defended though. And now Zinser to Hoppo. Hoppo decides to take that. Doesn't go. But Hoppo, such a great stretch player, can step outside to the arc and just really let things fly. As Chol looked in.
Speaking of which, wowee.
There's the first, perhaps of many tonight.
We've seen him do a lot of damage from beyond the arc in previous games, and we will expect nothing less tonight. Yannick with the pass back to Ullman.
Ullman takes it, bit short, and the rebound grabbed up by Lua Ding. And Ding to Rewa. Rewa steps on the three-point line, decides to give it to Centenara, and Centenara has a bit of space. Gives it to Rewa. Bit of 1-2 combo, and Rewa doesn't go. South Adelaide have a chance to respond. Pick up from this 6-point deficit. Jonek goes himself, and Zinser was ready for that if that bounced finally to him.
He had some hops. That was quite a jump to the basket.
Look.
Oh, look at that.
Double trouble. Chol, look. We talked about it before the match. He could be key here.
He was an open look. And they do not want to let that happen for much longer in this game, because he will walk away with 10 3-point shots made by the end of this game if that continues to happen.
Here's Brown. Denied. Devon Jones
says no, thank you.
Rewa punishes the South Adelaide Panthers, and it is all the Lions. The Lions are roaring. They're up and about, and it all started with that emphatic Devon Jones block.
That's got this Centrals crowd up and about. Reece Turner wanting to have a chat about this defensive lapse that they've had throughout the first 5 minutes of this game. They've allowed that tempo to be solely controlled by Central Districts. They have not taken their ascendancy and made sure that they covered their players, and there's no talking communication. So they need to switch that around. Good chance at this point. It's not even 5 minutes. They are still only 12 points down. Let's just settle down, find your matchups, and let's play the game like they know how to play.
Reece still looking composed. He's just telling his players where to go, what to do. It is a 16-4 lead. It's a massive start by the Lions at home. And for South Adelaide, they'll be a bit worried because they managed, last week they did get blown out by the Mount Gambier Pioneers. It was a 121-84, I believe. But what they did do was stick with them for a quarter and a half, and they actually played pretty good basketball down at the Ice House.
They've only, from looking at the perspective of points conceded, they're fifth the points conceded. So they're right in the middle of the pack. They're not the worst team for conceded points. So realistically, losing by those sort of margins, allowing those sort of points, I mean, that must have been some game up at the Ice House, that's for sure.
And they retained possession, South, quite fortunately, because that was rolling all over the place. Here's Barden inbounding to Hoppo. Hoppo decides to play it back out. Doesn't want to attack the basket. And speaking of that, Ullman gets up, puts it down. Won't count.
Chiabatoni just running out of room. But we've seen with Chiabatoni just a little bit of energy to inject it into this lineup now. It's exactly what South Adelaide needed this time. Not so much to step out of court, but definitely the energy.
And here's Luke again. Rewa. Outside, this is an open three. Oh, you thought he'd punish them. Look at that pass from Rewa. The handles to Devon Jones. And he goes to the line for two. Devon Jones standing 196 centimetres tall. Would usually play as a forward in American competitions, but down in Australia the players are a bit shorter. He fits right at home as a centre.
With those sort of handles and that sort of gameplay playing as a centre, you'd be licking at your lips if you were a coach Ricky Simpson, that's for sure.
Here's Hoppo. Hoppo gives it to Chiabatoni. And now Zinser, he gives it out. And that's the look that you don't want to give if you're the Central District's Lions. Nice three there from Barton. And here's Look trying to get back into things. Gives it out to Centenera, I should say. He gives it to Devon Jones, and now Rewa has it. And look at the passing.
Oh, Devon! Divine from Devon. And he flexes because he loves it.
That's violent.
Devon necessary. No, that's...
Devon Jones gets up.
Puts the hammers down.
And flushes that into the ring. Hangs around for photos.
That's going to be on the front page of the Bunyip come Monday, that's for sure. The Bunyip is the local newspaper here in Gawler, if you weren't 100% certain about that one.
Here's Jabatoni, controls it, and again with it is Barton, gives it to Hoppo. Hoppo looking active, but they can't really find any penetration here. Only Ullman inside. Zinser decides to try it, doesn't go. Ullman pushes, gets called for the charge.
Great defensive awareness from Luck as well, getting into the right place. Knew that Ullman had no time on the clock, had to get to the basket in some capacity. Took the charge, did exactly what he needed to do, and a deserved rest. A couple of three-point baskets made already, and some great defensive plays as well from the young man. As they wave away the court sweeper, that's not very nice. She ran all the way down from the other end. I'm sure she'll get another opportunity.
I hope
at some point. She looked pretty keen. She was very excited.
Well, you go to West Adelaide matches and you have about 10 kids wiping the court like maniacs. Here it's a bit less. It's a bit harder to come by. Here's Rewa, and one of the best point guards in the league. I'm going to go out and say, averages over 5 assists a match. Really sets the tone for this Lions setup and really allows everyone to do what they do best. The three-pointer from Dow doesn't fall. And Zinser looking to just control some of the damage here. He looks to shoot, gives it to Jabatoni. And with 10 seconds left, he's going to drive, works on Atwa, and that's a nice move.
Deserve the basket. Great work from Jabatoni. Super quick on the penetration, but back down the other end.
Devon Jones with the hops, kicks it back out, and Rewa decides, hey, we've got 14 seconds, let's go. And passes to the foot of Devon Jones, but he works it out, and they can't get the shot to go. It'll be a baseline ball for the Central District's Lions.
Found one Zinser on the rebound, it looks like. So he takes a rest after a great start from Zinser. He's really controlled their offense. They haven't got the points on the board for it, but he's been up and about early.
And Rewa takes another three ball. Oh, they are good from deep. That's going to be hard to stop if you're South Adelaide.
It's a problem already, and it's going to be a hard problem to curtail, that's for sure.
And maybe you fight fire with fire. You've got players like Brad Jonek on your team. Ullman, that's how you do it. That's a three-point play. Zachary Ullman.
He's an imposing figure.
From Vanguard University. Bit of superhero about that.
A lot of superhero about that. A lot of superhero about his shoes too. Very red. Superman red.
I don't think that's the colour.
It is now. You go to Bunnings, it'll be there in the paint section. I'll have the Superman red, please. That's what I'll tell you.
Superman red. Here's Rewa to Atwa. He puts it up. Oh, it's not far off either. Central's looking convincing. Here's Chabatoni, controls it, stays in bounds, and Barton has to deal with Rewa getting back on defense. Jonek gets the free ball. The free ball for the three ball doesn't go. Devon Jones with the hops and Jonek with the steal. It's gone back South Way. Looking to make inroads on that 12-point deficit. Hoppo takes it.
Knocks it down. It is now a 9-point ball game. This is much better basketball from South Adelaide. Have not started well, but in the last couple of minutes have just started to settle down.
And here now, it's Dow. Dow working inside. He might have the dunk or opts out.
Danced around him though. He was standing still like he was stapled to the floor.
That would have taken the roof off. And now Barton on Dow. Dow, one of the league's brightest young players, alongside Hoppo as well. And Ullman to Jonek. He might take it again. Decides not to. The alley-oop! Oh my goodness!
Would have blown the roof. Doesn't matter if you're a Central supporter or not. In this house, that would have just exploded. That was set up to be something next level.
I would have had to call the commissioner and we'd have to finish this live stream. It would have been over. The league would have been finished.
That's it. It would have been like Thanos and the fun and that snap. That's what it would have been.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been Benito Carboni and Alan Brown. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, Ullman just Thanos snapped us back into oblivion. That was so close to being just the next level. Ullman has two. That should have been one, because we would have hoped it would have been just the one for the made basket, but not this scenario. But drops the first. Back to a 10-point ball game. We've got 49 seconds left to play in this first quarter. A very entertaining quarter of basketball it certainly has been so far. More so if you're a Central District supporter. But South Adelaide are just starting to show their wares and show what they are certainly capable of in sticking in this game.
Well, they've brought it back to a 9-point deficit, so it's back to single figures. They've managed to stay in the match for this quarter. Dow has a lane, takes it up, and how does that not go in? Only the ring knows. Now Chabatoni brings it up. He's looking to work hard. He's got Atwa on him, and now Barton. Back to Chabatoni. With little time on the shot clock.
An offensive foul called.
Disappointing.
On Eli Miniakopinski.
One of the biggest names.
That's why I shortened his first name. It's Elijah, but I gave him Eli instead of Elijah because I just didn't want to commit to the whole name.
It's true, it's tough. Alongside probably Rigby Alphabet, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. But
I'll get back to him that one. That's I called his name in the first game. I was called announcing there for the Woodville Warriors. So.
Ooh, flush, but
not on this occasion. Final 5 seconds of the first quarter. Chipatoni better get his skates on.
Puts it up himself.
The Hornets not going to go, and Centrals will enjoy a very comfortable 9-point lead. I say very comfortable, even though it's only 9. They have had control of this quarter of this match so far.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Great sixth man, sometimes their starter as well. And that's in squads with Alex Starling and some great point guard imports as well. Like, he can mix it with the best, and I'd like to see that. On cue, Brad Yonek.
Your boy, Brad Yonek, doing exactly what Benito wanted him to do, take control of this game.
Atwa gives it off, and we're up and going in this second term. Here's Dow, has an open look. Doesn't fall. Big rebound by Zach Ullman. And we've got plenty of height in this encounter. Here's Chabatoni. He looked lively in the first term and gives it back to Ullman at the top. Gives it back, and we're playing the game of 1-2 here. The floater doesn't go, but South looking more lively.
They definitely are. Coming out of that break, that steal and score from Yonek has really given that lift and exactly the right start they wanted. Foul there on Chiavatoni. Adam Brown comes back in the game. Great initials, Adam Brown too.
AB.
Yep. We'll look after each other.
Downtown Adam Brown.
Well,
that must hurt your soul.
For South's sake, let's just hope so. For South's sake, if he can be downtown Adam Brown tonight, then that would be very beneficial for them.
Centenaro had an open look, decided not to go with it, and Dow loses possession. And unfortunate for Dow, because he's one player who I really feel could break this game open. He had 30 in the reserves on Tuesday and really dominated. The only person who scored more was Isaac Atwa, who had 33. So plenty of points on offer. And look at the steal there. Rewa knew where the ball was. We'll put it up for 3.
Pull-up jumper. Brett Marstiles on fast break just knocks it down. And that is not what we want to see from a South Adelaide perspective.
Margin back out to 10 points after it decreased to about 5. And Brown finds Ullman. Ullman back to Barton. Barton responds in the only way you can. Another 3.
We're going to see it again from Rua. Centenara. He takes a 3-ball and knocks the 3-ball. 3 threes in a row, respectively, between Centrals and South Adelaide. It is an old-fashioned shootout here at Sarplex.
Here's Jonik. He knows he can put one up too. Barton steps around. Dow has the screen, has the space, doesn't take it, but decides to drive. Nice. Stop and start and gets that in. Ricky Simpson's seen enough. He calls a timeout.
We're still seeing scores from both teams, but I'm feeling like the tempo is with South Adelaide at the moment. It has been since the start of the second quarter.
And that was nice from Barton. Consecutive plays, first pulling up for the 3, and then getting the Lions defenders off their feet and drawing in for the layup. Quality play there from the South captain, nonetheless.
From the skipper, got a lead from the front. Well, it's surprising to see a skipper, a captain, not start a game, but it's your role and having what you bring to the team. Clearly, he's coming in as an impact player, and he's definitely done that in the second quarter.
Barton to Ullman. Ullman's been good, and South will retain possession here.
We're going to see a lot more of Barton-Ullman combination here, I think, throughout this particular period. They have combined well already, and they have been a real focal point for South Adelaide in this game.
Jonik to inbound. Over the top to Barton. Barton hands up high, gives it out, and that's Manir Kopinski. And it goes back to Barton. Barton will give it out, and he'll get the 3-ball in the end. And it just rattles just a little bit short. And looking to rebound is Dow. Dow gives it to Centenara. Centenara to look. And Rewa now.
Good work by the South Adelaide defence. They collected themselves and they got back into position quite well. Devon Jones in the basket looking for an option. Centenara from downtown again, rims out. South Adelaide with the rebound. And Johnny's just going to hold it up.
Thought about it, but thought the pass on Ullman was better.
Too big.
And that's strong from Zach Ullman. Too big for look underneath the basket. And even Devon Jones on the second attempt couldn't stop him.
Great recognition of the mismatch down low from Yannick as well, getting it into Ullman. As Luck goes towards the basket, he's going to count it. He's going to count the shot. Foul has been called on Elijah Minier-Kopilski as he checks out of the game for Jared Hopper.
And Jimadao checking out as well.
And Luck to shoot the bonus shot for a 3-point play. Unsuccessful in the 3-point play. And Brown controlling the ball, getting the play set up, and he will take the foul from Charles Luck. Good pressure. There's no easy movement with the ball in this game.
Yeah, and keeping it congested up throughout and calling the fouls. It just doesn't feel like, for South, it'll feel like their game, it continues to struggle to get moving, you know? Like.
Yep, absolutely agree. This is only their first foul of this quarter.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's 4 minutes in. It's his first foul. It's really inconsequential, but it just reminds Adam Brown that he's not going to have it his own way getting the ball up the court.
Here's Hoppo. And the pass to Ullman. Ullman keeps it alive, but it falls into the hands of Lua. Ding. Ding. Over to Centenara. And he'll kick it to Look. Look to Rewa. Rewa steps inside. Look at the handles on him. And AB wants to travel.
There was some hot footing going on
I
there.
wasn't looking at the feet. I was just looking at the hand.
Foxtrot down there, but no, that was probably 2 steps. I mean, maybe it was an optical illusion, maybe, but a great move to the bathroom Rewa nonetheless.
And now Ullman on the perimeter. Nice pass to Hoppo. Hoppo puts it up. And that doesn't go. South still trailing by 10 points. Now Rewa back. And great ball movement from the Lions. Looking around, finding the right option. They've got still got 10 seconds on the shot clock, but they don't need it. Centenaro can't get the shot to fall. Now Jonek might put that up. Decides not to. He probably should have. But he gets it back. Gets a second chance. The vision on him is superb. And the basket from Adam Brown.
Downtown, Adam Brown.
My mind's blown. Here's Rewa. Rewa to shoot it himself. Responds in the brilliant fashion that Jordan Rewa does. Of course, Rewa's played in places like Czechoslovakia and Germany, so he knows what to do in that sort of situation. Jonek to Brown, and then Brown now, Barton to Brown. Here's Jonek, puts it up this time, and that's well short, but off the foot of Look, and they're going to get it back with 14 seconds on the clock.
Brown thought about it, gives it back to Barton.
Barton
Calls for a screen, but waves it away and chucks up the shot.
And it's good to see South Adelaide responding against Central's strong play from beyond the arc to give it a go themselves and really great challenge from
Hoppo with
Hoppo.
a double-handed block says no way, not in my house.
Patrolling the key like it's Bondi Rescue. Of course, his namesake on the show,
And
Jared.
surfs up, Splashtown from downtown Adam Brown.
This is all incredible right now.
It's all coming together. South Adelaide are on the march and right back into this game.
Rewa looking to drive, gives it, and almost been posterized.
So far we've seen two almosts, and they would have been highlight reels at the Halls Wollacott at the end of the year, both of those two plays, but unfortunately they won't make it. Ormond taking a well-deserved rest, going with a small ball lineup as well, South Adelaide now, so they're taking out their biggest big from the looks of things. They've changed their mind. Ormond just walked over for a drink.
Ding, nearly ending Jared Hoppo's career there. But of course, on Bondi Rescue, Hoppo has a namesake. I think his name's Anthony Hopkins. And they call him Hoppo. So that's where I got it from.
I like it, that was a good reference. I don't know how much time he'd spent in the sun, unfortunately, old young Jared Hoppo.
It's true.
He's got some fair skin.
He spends plenty of time in the gym, though. Of course, I believe a college call-up isn't far away from either.
It really is not. It's the name of the college is just out of my mind at the moment. I know they're red and white, but that's all I can remember in my mind.
There's a fair few red and white. Both of these teams sport red and white as well, as we
and blue.
talked about. And blue, of course, as well. So,
Weird things about you. I collect snail shells.
And we've got timeout. Tick over 3 minutes to go in this first half. And yes, these mics are pretty sensitive for those of you listening at home. I'm sure that's surprised you as well as it surprised Benito and I.
I'm shocked.
I'm shook. I'm shook and I'm shocked. What I'm not shocked at is the 7-point lead that has decreased down to that 7-point buffer. South Adelaide really coming back and doing the business as they know to do on the from the hand of Barton, the hand of Jonek, the hand of Ormond. These guys are starting to contribute and really put some pressure on the scoreboard against Central Districts.
Well, yeah, it's been a good second quarter from the Panthers. They've really steadied the ship and they've continued to chip away at that deficit. Reece Turner at the helm of that ship, showing his poise, showing his experience, of course, at the Southern Tigers as well. He was an assistant coach.
To Dean Nyberg, a big shout out to my old pal Dean and former championship winning teammate from under 18s back in the day, so a long time ago. So
Before I was born, probably.
If you say it to me again, you're probably just, you're right, no. He was,
Well, we look at the stats now. We're going to move on. But
Yes.
just Jordan Rewa has 16 points already, alongside his 3 rebounds, 2 assists and 2 steals. He's been dominant for the Lions. On the Panthers side of the court, you've had Ullman and Barton put up 8 points apiece, and it's more of an even spread. As we've talked about, here's Brown, gets it to Ullman. Ullman hasn't been able to get too close to the basket so far, but Brown puts that up. He's already hit 1, and Ullman, great tap down, like a ruckman.
great awareness and judgment from Ullman.
And Zinza gives it to Brown. He goes again. And this time Devon Jones picks it up. Devon has shown his athleticism early on in this encounter and will look to continue to do so. But he's got a man in Ullman to beat, standing more than 200 centimetres tall. Centenera working his way around. And now Luat Ding decides on the perimeter shot.
And the keeper of the boards down there for South Adelaide wraps up another one. And they can really cut this deficit right down now with a successful offense here.
Here's Zinza. And Jonek really wants to put up another three-point shot. He hasn't really had success so far, though. Here's Brown, fakes him. And that's great nous from Brown to beat the much taller Luo Ding and really get him off his feet. And South are moving in waves now, continuing the C references. Jonek short again. And they continue to cut down the deficit, but they're not getting too much closer. Still a 5-point margin with 1:30 remaining in the second term. Now Ding gives it to Rewa. He's seen plenty of it in the second term and steps inside Ullman. That is elite from the American guard. Jordan Rewa out of Minnesota State University. He's already ranking 5th in the league for assists, but he shows he can get to the rack as well.
And composure under immense pressure from the big boy in Zach Ullman there. So stepping the line to push this one out almost to another 10-point lead. It's going to kick it out to 8 if he is successful in the 3-point play. Very crucial time this last minute and a half. We saw it in the women's game. The last minute or so of every quarter seemed to really dictate how the next quarter was going to start. And he knocks that one down, so he's successful. Extending the D now, the Central Districts.
The press looks good and the turnover. Here's Ding. Puts it up and that's 2 more points.
Works straight away. Great call from Ricky Simpson to bring the defense up.
Press continues. They've got nowhere to get out. Brown tries his best, actually does it really well. Here's Brown moving it out. And the floater from Zinza punishes Centrals. But if you're Ricky Simpson, you take that because Brown had to get through a nightmare of challenge to get that basket. His look responds well. And we've got a bit of a free-flowing affair here. Pass goes over to Zinza. And he might slow things down a bit. No, he gets past. And he might go up himself.
Oh! Ding, ding, ding. He says, not in my house.
Technical
no one is home.
knockout.
No way.
And look to Rewa. And he slows things down when we just wanted to get started. Jordan Rewa gives it to Devon Jones at the top of the key. And look, doesn't go. Devon with the powerful O-board and one.
He loves it. Roars like the lion that he is. Count that basket. Mini Klipinski on the end of another and one, unfortunately.
Zinza go up and Ding deny him.
It's a great step by Zinza to get around Rewa, and he had eyes to go, this is going to be highlight reel, this is going to be just the biggest thing you'll ever see. There we have a timeout with 33 seconds to play in this first half. A 12-point lead now for Central Districts. But that was one cracker of a block. That was.
Well, do you think Zinza saw the camera under the basket at the start of this match and was like, hey, I'm going to posterize someone. I want to get a photo. I wanted to share it around with my friends and family.
That was going to be a Snapchat story straight up. That was going to be on his Instagram. It would have been everywhere. But now it's going on Dings, and well deserved too, because it was a great timing on that block. Could have easily hit the body and caused a foul, but did not. It was absolutely as clean as a whistle.
Well, Ding showing his flexibility around the court. Of course, a really good three-point shooter. I don't think we've seen him put up a 3 so far tonight, but he's 45% for the season from the three-point line. That's 4th for the league.
His defense is really it's underrated. I mean, realistically, he's a monster on the boards. He is super long and will just get his hand into absolutely everything. If he stays out of foul trouble, he'll finish with 5 or 6 blocks in this game.
And if you missed any of that, Devon Jones to the line to complete his and one, the 3-point play, and push this margin back out to 13 points, which is not what Reese Turner ordered. Can't call Reese the doctor, can we? And an offensive rebound, Devon Jones. And dang, it's not a block, but he just slapped that out of bounds.
Well, he was in the mood for it. I think he enjoyed it the first time so much, he just wanted to go again. But another full court press.
And this is a good full court press too.
Probably not in the right hands that you'd want it, but they have him trapped in.
Linnea Kupinski to Barton.
Did well, the young man.
Just 3 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. And Shabatoni gives it to Zinza. Zinza looking a bit more ginger after that. And now Barton gives it out.
This will make him feel better.
From the outside.
Yeah, it does now.
3-2. We're going to see a shot from halfway. If Sensenara puts it up, he does.
Although it was pretty close. Not a bad effort, but Centrals will take a very, very comfortable lead into halftime. 47-35, a margin of 12 points here at Starplex.
She got two little horns and they give me a little bit.
And they've got the two imports in Zinser and Ullman. But we're on the way here in the second half of the Basketball State Premier League matchup between South Adelaide and the Central Districts Lions. And straight up to Ullman, gets the pass to Zinser. The imports combine, but the ring says no.
Just spoke with them, and there they pop. Really high defensive run there from Centrals as well from the outset, which you certainly would have expected from their lineup.
Now Centenera gives it to Rewa. Rewa was the star of the first half. He puts the fadeaway on. Doesn't fall, and Ullman grabs that one, says it's mine. But yeah, Rewa with 19 points in that first half. Here's Jonek. Look for him to get going in this second half too. Brown as well has been lively. He pushes inside the middle, passes it back out to Jonek. He has 7 seconds to do something with this. Jonek goes inside and denied!
Oh.
Little ding flies up and sends that out of here.
Big ding. Big swing, big ding from Big Ding. South Adelaide to reload with 3 seconds on the shot clock. They've got to make something happen here. And they do. What a pass. Great cut to the basket by Zinser.
Sensational. Sensational.
Opens this second half for South Adelaide.
Here's Cho Look. And he keeps it alive. Nearly loses it. Devon Jones on the outside. That's not where you want him to be. But he's going to push inside and lose the ball. Here's at it. Brown. Brown to Zinser. Zinser pushes inside and he's got the jump. Doesn't fall, but Lord Ding knocks it out of bounds and South Adelaide retain possession. This is where it's going. South Adelaide pushing the agenda early in this third term.
Predicting a 3-point basket from South Adelaide right here. Can Zinser be that man? He won't be, but Jonek with a big gap. There's no one around him. Splash town. And Jonek brings them back to a 7-point deficit.
That's his first 3 of the night. He missed 4 beforehand in the first half, so that is exciting for South Adelaide fans.
He gets going, look out.
Rewa steps back and he misses this time. Hopper lets that one roll out. And South are up and about. Their bench can be heard from the grandstands at Starplex. Of course
Ricky
they
wants to
can
talk
be.
about it already. He's not happy with what he's seen in this first minute and 53 seconds. Not happy at all.
And it begs the question, because Ricky's head is looking shinier than ever. We were at the Woodville match earlier this year, and I thought it was well polished then, but he is looking sublime tonight.
Very smooth, very smooth. I can't say I've ever gone with that same look myself personally. I think I've got a bit of a rude head when it comes down to the shape of it.
Well, you see some bold heads, and they're a bit chunky on the sides, and you're
alien-like. No one wants that.
But Ricky Simpson does not have that issue.
No, not at all. He's got a very nice melon on top of his shoulders there, that's for sure.
And his players, that's something to listen to. But
he'll appreciate this love. I'm sure he will. But he'll be thinking about that when he'll be listening to this.
Listening to the tape when they're checking it out with the team, and the team are loving it.
You know, those guys, when they're talking about the shape of my head, they're right. They are right. I do have a very nice bonds.
Well, this is an important match for Centrals, and they could go third with a win here, realistically. And right now, sitting 5th, they're on the precipice of that top 5.
It's their chance to put their flag into the ground and say, you know what? We know we're only a quarter of the way through this season, but this is going to be big. We are going to be a force to be reckoned with, and we can make some things happen and make you second guess yourself.
And Jonek gets that out. They've got space here. The alley-oop might.
Oh, it looks like Ullman was not happy.
Zinser not as confident as he was in the first term before that. He got blocked sensationally by Ding. Here's Rewa pushing it up. He gives it to Ding, the man of the moment. And he grabs his own offensive rebound and puts that back in.
Bit of stat padding there from Lyle Ding. But great awareness on the offensive rebound to make sure that he could put that finish on the board.
Jonek has no space. Gives it to Zinser, to Brown. Ullman's calling possession, but Zinser now. He passes it out to Ullman. Ullman gets in the end. Strong on Devon Jones with a shot not quite. Brad Jonek slipping in there, getting the offensive rebound, resetting this one. Zinser gets called for the offensive. Probably fair. I saw the elbow extend out, and Nathan Durant doesn't make too many bad calls.
Orman will be very disappointed with that shot that he put up there. I think that as he made the turn, he was either going to go that left-hand kind of baby hook, but then changed his mind and ended up getting like a shopping trolley push. And it did not go very far at all.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing you'd see at a grocer. And here's Luck. Luck, it falls kindly.
Devon Jones throwing it down. Love to see that.
And now Ullman, how can he respond? Gives it to Hoppo. Hoppo with the long ball. And Sensenera grabs the rebound. It's back to an 11-point margin. Luck gets it to Devon Jones. He's been so dynamic inside. But Sensenera will take it from outside. Doesn't go, but Devon with the rebounds. And then the turnover. Yonek bringing it up quickly. Gives it to Ullman. Ullman finds a way inside and gets it to go.
Made a decision, chose his right hand, great finish, deft touch, and takes the contact to the elbow, and we'll head to the line for one bonus shot.
And look at that dunk by Devon Jones. Quite sensational, really. As we see, Luck falls Devon's way. Luck was the passer of Devon's pass, and he gets that basket. Devon now gives it out on the other end. But South Adelaide really quietened down this Central District's crowd with that and one. Rewa now might give it to Ding. But now Luck has it. Luck to Devon. Brown gets there, knocks it out with his knee.
Just cutting off the lane, just making sure that there was no easy way to the basket for Devon Jones. Brown's had enough of the highlight reel stuff from Devon, but
and
out again.
We're going to restart with 1 second less on the clock. Here's Luck, gives it to Devon. He finds a way inside, spins around Ullman, but then loses his balance.
Too dizzy, too many spins, unfortunately, for Devon Jones.
A pirouette that ballerinas would be proud of.
It was majestical. That was divine from Devon, but unfortunately not the finish.
And now Jonek, he might go here. He doesn't, Brown does instead. Now Zinser shakes, bakes, puts it up, and it rolls over and heads to Netherlands. Disappointing.
You can see he wanted it. He wanted that shot. He was lining up, trying to just push his opponent back a little bit.
I love the character on the inputs in this match though. You've got Ullman inside, who is just like a farmer grabbing those rebounds. And then you've got Devon Jones battling up on him, so dynamic and athletic, like Ullman is as well. Zinser not afraid to do anything. He tried to posterize a guy a head taller than him. And then of course, Jordan Rewa with handles like the handles that LeBron would want on his side.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get the call up for Space Jam 2. He needs players.
Nobody else wants to be a part of that, so why not? As Centenera lines it up from outside, but does not connect on that attempt.
I could see Rewa in Space Jam.
Mate, I would like to be in Space Jam, to be perfectly honest with you.
I could see you in it too, downtown.
I think they need something. They need some Aussie flavour in Space Jam 2. I think that's what the first one.
They might be forced to go to it, Alan.
Oh, look, I'm putting it out there now. If LeBron's listening, mate, I am available and I have a passport and ready to roll.
Here's Dow. Dow steps to the outside. He doesn't have anyone on him. Could go, but decides to drive. He finds space.
That's that first very super quick step. Dow just going straight past his opponent, opening up an ocean of room, and with a clinical finish.
Now Hoppo to Jonek. Jonek hasn't shot a three since he hit that first one of his match. But decides to drive. Ullman has a lot to beat, but doesn't need to beat him when he puts that up. That is quality from Zach Ullman.
That's knowing your game, knowing your inside game, and just going about your business, doing your work.
Rewa and now Dow, nearly intercepted by Hoppo. Dow looks to take on Zinser and Ullman. Can't do it. The 203 centimetres of Ullman proving too much, but Jonek on the outside. This could be big, and it doesn't fall. Devon shrugs his way into Brown, and we've still got an 8-point match here. This has been an exciting quarter. But Hoppo getting hands in everywhere. Here's Devon working on the much smaller Brown.
Got him.
And what did he get him with there? Because he was moving.
Got him with a hip. He had good body position. Devon went in and Brown took the contact at the right time. Great work from the young man. He's having a heck of a game.
Yeah, he is. Adam Brown. Of course, I was talking to Jamie Petty earlier in the week for the same article I have with Molly McKendrick, and he was saying that he wanted to give players like Jamie Brown and that more time playing the point, more time playing as a guard, and just giving them the chance, because in future years there'll be players that could do incredible things for the Panthers.
Tell us a bit more about the article. Where can we find these articles for Molly and for Jamie Petty?
It will go on. It will go live on either the Monday or the Tuesday. It'll just be a piece, kind of glorifying the Panthers. It's a bit of it's an exciting season for them with a new stadium and the new floorboards coming in, and plenty is happening down at Marion. You'll be able to see that on the Premier League Facebook page. Just search the Premier League -basketball SA, and you will find that.
As you'll find Allman under the basket, putting another 2 points to South Adelaide, bringing them within 6 points with 3 minutes to play in this quarter. Dow dicing his way through the key and answering straight away with 2 of his own, pushing it back out again to 8 points.
Dow is such an athletic player, such a dynamic youngster. Speaking of which, Jared Hoppo, another one of them. It's an exciting matchup. I like the 5s we've got on the court here. And here's Dow again, looking to control things a little bit. We've got Ding and Rewa on the court as well, so Rewa, he's got space, decides to drive, gives it out. Jackson Walsh with a looping ball. And Hoppo doesn't see Allman free. He's looking in the wrong way. Not sure why either. Here's Chabatoni to Allman. Allman to Jonek. Jonek nearly loses it, gives it to Allman. And decides to go himself. Jonek!
Jonek left wide open. Cannot do that.
Did you see that 3 symbol on his hands? He loves it.
Was very impressed with himself, and why wouldn't you be when you're hitting shots like that? He's found his groove. He's found his rhythm in this third quarter.
And just 3 points, the margin now. South Adelaide really closing the gap, and Rewa dices his way through now. And the penetration from these Lions is pretty impressive. Ricky Simpson would be pretty happy with it.
Too many options for South Adelaide to contain. They're going to hit a shot from outside, or they're going to penetrate and dish.
But,
just like that from Jared Hoppo. Nice dime over to Brad Jonek, and he connects, brings it back to a 3-point game.
But that's the thing, South Adelaide have shown that they have that same dynamism in players like Jared Hoppo, Allman on the inside, but also on the outside too. Brad Jonek's looked heaps good in this last term. But Jimmy Dow just finds his way to the rack again and again and again.
He knows you could blindfold him, he'd make it.
And with 1 minute remaining, 5-point game, Hoppo gives it to Jonek. Jonek's been hot. And he decides to get the pass to Allman. I don't know if that was the best option, but it kind of trickles away. Here's Dow taking it again. And
count it!
Points on points on points for Jimmy Dow. He is splashing in the cash.
He's taking this game by the scruff of the neck and saying, you know what? This is me, get out of my way. You've got to do a lot to try and stop what I can provide, and he is providing a ton.
South Adelaide getting lost in the sauce. That is Jimmy Dow. And now a 7-point match when South really threatened. They were within 1 possession for much of that term. And making it count, Jimmy Dow. It's been an impressive quarter. And the long name of Minia Kopinski is back on court. So we don't have to call that. Barton to Chabatoni. He's got time to think through his options. How about that?
Nice bucket. Got to be relation to Alex Giabatoni, obviously another South Aussie playing some great basketball in the WNBL in this last season.
Luck stops the ball there. It looked like it was going to be another and one, to be honest, but
just rolled out at the last second there. But there must be some good bloodlines in the Giabatoni family, that's for sure. Great shot from the young man there from Christian. As Luck gets the first foul shot. pushes back out to an 8-point lead. A little bit flat of that one. Hoppo with the rebound is fouled on the rebound.
Not many fouls in this quarter, so he'll take it from the baseline. And onto the court for the first time tonight. Duke Ball takes his first seconds. Let's see what he does with it. As Hoppo takes to the bench. A few interesting changes with just 25 seconds on the clock. Bit of a tactical matchup between Ricky Simpson and Reese Turner. Ullman really should have grabbed that. He'll be a bit gutted. Tells Nick Kapinski his apologies. A high five, it's all good. They work it out.
Yep. So the quick change, I wanted Ullman in for the offense and Hoppo in for the defense. So that's smart for Reese. He knows how important these late quarter baskets are for momentum. We saw it in the first match as South put up a basket in the first, second and third terms as time expired. So here's Luck. Can Luck continue? It does. Luck drops on the stroke of three-quarter time, and they enjoy a very nice 9-point lead entering into the last quarter here.
She got two little horns and they give me a little bit.
I'm speaking quietly because I know I have to save my voice for the end of this, because this is going to be quite a finish.
It's poised. It is in a great position as Jimmy Dow goes to the basket, straight away attacking. And the foul will be called on the longest name on at least this court in Premier League play. But
looked like Reese was waving at us for a second there, Reese Turner. Of course, probably not happy with the foul. He's having a chat to the referee. They come to a resolution.
I think just Mindia Kapinski was just out of position, wasn't really ready for the drive from Dow. But really, you've got to be, because at a moment, he will be all over you and past you in a second. So. Barney we haven't seen much of. Drops it into Ullman, who taps it in. A nice play, good composure under the basket. Better start from South Adelaide.
And Ullman, of course, apparently, I'm hearing this for the first time, owns a cattle farm. So he rocked up to the match against West a few weeks ago with a straw pick in his mouth, with a toothpick.
And a banjo and a jug with 4 X's on it, that sort of thing.
Look, that's the rumour. But what's the equivalent of 4X? You'd have Miller time. Miller. It's a Miller. He'd have Millers in his hands.
Yeah, sure.
And Shabatoni puts it up. Man, I really thought that was going to happen. Here's Dow. Dow looking for options. He shakes his way through. Ooh, nearly. Here's Dow from the three-point line. Oh, he's signed Ullman up. Put it through his legs.
Nutmegs him.
Oh, no. The putback. Devon Jones. Jimmy Dow has humiliated Ullman, and he needs to be subbed off, Reese.
Wow, that was...
You don't see that on a basketball court.
Nutmegging a player like that is just... of Ullman's ilk, of Ullman's capacity, just to do that is just
Is that the equivalent of cow tipping?
It's got to be. It's got to be. And the finish by Devon, that was absolutely... That was out of this world. As Luck. It's been a bit cold from downtown since hitting the first few three-point shots of his game tonight. Misses as well, Gibertoni.
Looking
always
lively.
A ball of energy.
He saw where he needed to pass it. Reaver also saw it, cut it off. And Devon, I thought he was going all the way.
Would have been a spectacular floater from Devon Jones. Rimming out though. And Zissa zipping his way through the key. That one bounces off the front of the ring, and Central will calm this one down. I think Luck's going to quite happily move this one across. And
Rewa kind of the man to slow things down for Centrals. Of course, it does get very lively at times. It's actually really good to have a player like that. And Dow puts it in, and Reese has seen enough. Reese Turner calls the timeout. And now a 15-point margin.
It's hard to know what to do when a player of Dow's capacity is coming towards you and you're trying to cover off. You don't know what to do with yourself, really.
Here's that replay again, as we saw. The nutmeg is sensational.
The timing on the jump for the tip jam was just beautiful to watch.
As we see Turner imploring to his troops that they need to find something else. They need to find another gear. A 15-point deficit in the last quarter is always hard to overcome. And
there is still plenty of time for South Adelaide. We have seen them make these runs before. It's just about getting the right players in the right positions. They seem to be going down low quite a lot to Allman. He's not going to rescue the game for them. It's going to come down to making sure they get stops at the other end, stopping the penetration, and then capitalising on the offensive end.
Yeah, and as we tick over and there's a 15-point lead, that is the largest lead of the match. We did a 14-point lead earlier that South Adelaide kind of whittled their way back to. But this is the largest lead, so it is tough going for the Panthers. But the Central District Lions looking to move up the ladder. Of course, they're 3-3, and South Adelaide struggling along at 0-5. The chances of securing another win seem tough to reach now. And now Brown gives it to Allman. Allman with the floater. That rattles in. There's some points. And now Rewa looks to respond.
I was looking for some stats before, but I don't know where I put them. But the last time these two teams met, a very high-scoring affair. South Adelaide taking out the game 108-101. Again, very different-looking teams to what we're seeing tonight from the South Adelaide perspective, but still, to see them put that many points on the board.
Rewa looking quality, but the offensive rebound from the farmer, Allman, brings it up. And now Barton, the captain, back on court. Here's Zinser. Zinser gives it to Hoppo. Hoppo to Zinser. And now Barton as well. Here's Allman looking to work inside on Devon. And he gets the foul called from the referee furthest from the action. But I reckon it was there.
Plowed his way through the keyway there. Just like a fresh roll of corn.
Right for harvest.
Yep. I don't know much about farming, so that's as far as I can take it. But he steps to the line for 2 shots.
We are on the gateway to the outback in Gawler.
We are, I've been in this area for about 6 years now, so I'm just getting my head around the
concept of farming
and horticulture and of this area, this region. So
well, you know the word ploughed, so that's something.
I do know the word plough, which is handy. So that's a very good start, and you can sow things. That's the thing as well with sowing crops, I guess.
Yeah. That's good. Allman misses it. And Rewa shaking his way through, trying to snake his way around. And Devon wanted it, but he didn't get it. Dow, and he's called for the offensive. Just raised the arm a little bit on Adam Brown. It wasn't much, but it was just enough for Durant to blow his whistle.
Another situation where we are seeing that very quick change of direction, which is that quick step from Dow is just, you blink and you miss it and he's past you. It's almost undefendable.
And another timeout called, I believe, by Ricky Simpson. And we're going to have more thinking over to do for each side.
So thinking and wanting to just sort of calm down their tempo, bring his boys in, and just Ricky is the consummate professional when it comes down to this league and to this game. He is an absolute legend of Premier League basketball. So it's no wonder at this point of the game, 13-point lead, just had a turnover, bring the boys in, have a chat about it, and just get them to reset their thinking just for the next 6.5 minutes. And as for Reece Turner, look, it's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be shots and turnovers. It's pretty basic basketball when it comes down to it. They've just got to do all the right things that they know to do. They've got some real talent. They have the real talent in Allman, in Barton, who we haven't seen a lot of in this second half. Jonix
hit 2 threes this term. Maybe he could be the guy to go to if he gets a couple of those at half the deficit. And you know Allman's going to continue to accumulate up in the key.
Yeah. Happy with this 5 out here for South Adelaide?
So we've got Hoppo, Brown, Zinser, Allman and Barton. It's a good 5 to have. They've got their captain out there to steady the ship. They've got the star players. And it's a travel called on Allman.
Just dragged the back foot before putting the ball down. So unfortunate error from Allman, but they've got to shake that off quickly and get a stop here.
But this is, if there's a 5 to get back in the game for South, I think Reece is showing his entire hands here.
I think so.
Jonek not on the court though, which is...
Depends on where you're wanting to get your points. If you're wanting to attack the rim, attack the basket, I think this is the right choice. If you're wanting to find an outlet, finds the three-point shots, then obviously brings Jonik into the game. As the ball's thrown away, South Adelaide will get that possession back.
One of very few mistakes by Luol Ding. He's been brilliant tonight. A few for the highlight reel as well.
Absolutely right.
Hoppo and now Brown. Brown to Ullman. Ullman trying to post up on 3 players. Floats it in. Zach Ullman, Zach Power. And taking a tumble is Brown. Dow sizes up Ullman. Dow, not quite. And South have a chance to counter. Brown working hard, pushing it up the court before the press could be implemented. And nearly getting him off his feet was Brown. Hoppo steps up, and that one.
Hungry Hoppo, and one for the young man. Big time basket at a big time of the game for South Adelaide.
And look at the celebration from Hoppo. You'll see it on the replay on the big screen here. But he just says, count it, count it, count it.
He called it for the ref. Ref didn't need to do anything.
And he missed the free throws, unfortunately. But it was worth it for the highlight reel. Centenera and Rewa now. Looking to move players around. Ding, and now Javon Jones back on court. And the turnover, Ullman will put this up. The Farmer brings it up and slams it down.
And he loved that, was very lucky not to give away a foul there, Ding, on the challenge on the dunk, but great work from South Adelaide.
That was massive from Zach Ullman. And the powerful dunk. Devon, he gets tripped by a clumsy Hoppo.
Fell into his leg a little bit, would take the foul.
Everyone's all right, so we're all happy. But we just get to see this dunk again, the steal from Ullman. He gets up. Deng thought he'd have a piece of it and was fingers hips away. But Ullman just had one intention to slam that, flush it down.
As sure as a rooster will crow in the morning, that was going down without a doubt.
And Centenera looking for the 3. That would have been big. Hoppo gets the rebound though, and well, you know, we're back to a 7-point game. All of a sudden, South, as we said, are grinding away back at this, and they're showing great talent with this 5 on the court now. That's not a good pass, and the turnover. Now Ding brings it up. He's got Brown on him. Brown defends well. Doesn't give away the foul. That's just about, did everything he could. You're spot on.
Nothing more that young man could have done other than fouling before he got to the key away.
Brown, a heavy screen on Ding. Ding's hurt his knee. And that 3 ball falls by Barton, but Ding is on the ground and Ding is hurt.
It's luck.
Oh, it's luck, sorry.
It's luck. That's not
good
getting
to
up in a hurry. He's not getting up in a hurry. Did not see what happened, whether it was a knee knock.
It was a screen, so that's what allowed Brown to get through. He's scraped his way off the court, and it's not in a good way. And no medical staff around him as of yet, which is not great to see either. And
he's up on his feet, but he's not in a.
He's not putting anything. He's sitting on the bench, but expect him to go to the rooms pretty soon.
Yeah, he looks very, very upset. There doesn't really seem to be a lot of concern. I'll keep an eye on it, but it doesn't look like a lot of concern. It might just be. We'll have to keep an eye on that one and see what happens. A very, very important player for this Lions outfit, that's for sure.
Massive player. And here's Ding. Ding, Centenera. And he moves inside. Blocked by Hoppo. That's sensational by the lifeguard. And after a bit of a scramble, it falls out and it remains Central's ball. And a bit of ice put straight on the knee.
It's going to the outside of the knee.
And he hasn't put any pressure on it yet. We'll keep you updated. But here's Atwerp on court. He fumbles and loses it. And bringing it up is Brown. Brown to Ullman. And he doesn't go. Just can't put the ball in the basket.
It's the second relatively open, pretty straightforward layout that we've seen Zissamiss in this game.
And now Ding showing that 3-point poise. Fires it and feels it. And Simpson, you can hear him from the bench. Ullman thinks about it. Barton will think about it. He just hit his last one. And he gets the pass over to Hoppo. Hoppo puts it over Devon Jones, but no one is in there to grab the rebound because Hoppo was shooting it outside. Bit of contact between Devon and Hoppo off the ball. And Devon wants a foul. Hoppo sticking to him like glue. Here's Devon, gives it over to Ding. Ding has a lane, and he puts it down. Luo Ding.
Ding dong, there he is. Open the door and flushes it. Absolute crazy scenes here at Central Districts, here at Starplex. It is timeout with 2 minutes and 43 seconds to play in this game, and they've pushed themselves out to a very comfortable lead. 11 points in front of South Adelaide. We're just keeping an eye on Cholak over there on the bench. They've just now strapped the ice to the knee. Still looking in a lot of discomfort, the young man. So hopefully it's
just a sprain.
Just a bit of a bit of soreness there, but we'll see certainly what happens in the coming days. But fingers crossed for the young man. But this team, a very, very deep team, very well drilled, very well coached team. So if they are missing luck for the rest of obviously this game, which is basically a certainty from what we're looking at right now, but for an extended period, they'll certainly have some talent to be able to cover that.
Well, you look at this Central District side, and like from an offensive standpoint, there's not many holes in the squad. Like you've got wonderful three-point shooters. You've got so much versatility on both the inside and outside players who can play both roles. And you've got a player like Devon Jones.
Multi-faceted, every single one of these players on this lineup. I mean, in this league, you have to be.
Yep.
You have to be able to play anywhere from from 1 through 5 if you can, if you're that. So like a Devon Jones, who can bring the ball up. He can play against the bigger players. As Brown steps back, the James Harden style three.
Ullman will charge forward, gives it to Revo, gives it to Zinsa. And that three is a necessity because they're trailing by 8 with 2.5 minutes remaining now.
That was big time by Zinsa. Absolute big time.
And Rewa looking to respond, gives it to Centenera, thinks about it, goes behind his back and takes a tumble, passes it out. Devon grabs it and then they lose it. South have to go now, and this is their chance. Ullman gives it to Brown. Brown to the hot-handed Zinsa, thought about it. Ullman goes from the range. That's not far off. And the foul is called in a South Adelaide possession. They stay in this match.
On Rewa, holding on to the arm of Hoppo. That was critical. That was absolutely critical. That missed shot, that goes back to Centrals. They knock off another 20 seconds off of the clock and get a score, then it would have been very, very difficult. They need a basket here. There is absolutely no doubt about that.
Nice pass to Barton. 10 seconds on the clock. And that's not good.
Not did that.
That's not what you want. And Dow will bring it up. Gives it to Ding. And he lays it in. And the points situation just gets difficult for South now.
You see Jonic trying to get back into the game.
Here's Hoppo, pushes inside, he doesn't have any more steps to take. Zinsa dribbles his way around, gets past Devon Jones, and that is great mouse inside. When you're at that height, you need to be smart with it. Devon Jones, I thought he was going to do a backwards alley-oop there, but just controls possession very smartly as well. And the outside shot from Ding, this would seal it, doesn't, and Hoppo gets it, they'll bring it out. Minute 20 to go. Hoppo passed it to Brown. Brown should shoot that, but he doesn't. Steps inside and denied! Ding! Puts an asterisk on top and says, hey.
He sent that ball to Manapara. He hit that so hard. That's gone straight down onto Main North Road.
And that's basically higher than Mount Lofty, the height that he jumped.
He got up and he could have taken the ball out of the air. He got up so high. Again, though, you're Adam Brown, you get up and you go and do it again because that's what you got to do. You're just going to expect to get those sorts of things to happen if you just have to run the lanes and give it a go.
That's exactly right. And South Adelaide not out of this contest. If they can get a basket here, it becomes a 2-possession game. And with a minute 10 on the clock, 2 possessions is manageable.
14 fouls for Central, so anything from this point moving forward obviously will send South Adelaide to the line. So that certainly is something they can use to their benefit. They can really attack. They have fouls to give themselves, but they can really attack from an offensive standpoint. If they're not going to get an open shot, drive at them, move the ball at them and try to draw some fouls and get yourself to the foul line for some free shots. Because really, that down the stretch, if you can hit your foul shots, then you give yourself every opportunity to get back in the game and get right up to them.
Just an update on Luke. He still looks a bit dejected on the sideline, holding his knee up on another chair. A bit of makeshift doctor work there by the Lions. This isn't your quality care that you would see in higher levels.
They haven't called the Medicart out, unfortunately, but look, they
he's standing on it now, as you can see.
Doesn't
very
look
well.
Doesn't look comfortable.
And he's
I'm sure the club will certainly do everything they can to help the young man through whatever rehab he may require. So.
And Zinser shows his hops and puts it up. He'll go to the line for 2. If he had gotten the one to go.
Just about to say the same thing. We would have really enjoyed that basket as well. But look, the 2 shots knocks these 2, brings it back to a 6-point deficit. That's 2 shots, 2 possessions, and he does exactly what his team needs him to do on that first one.
And it's a bit quiet here at Starflex. People unsure about what's going on.
They're a bit worried. I think there's some worried faces.
What a pass out to Devon. He gets up like an influencer at Mount Lofty, hangs around for photos. Devon Jones.
He's at Windy Point. He's with his loved ones.
Oh, and the
Everyone's
steal
happy.
by Rewa nearly goes.
He's enjoying the view, the lights of Adelaide, as he lights up Starplex.
Look at that. Devon has gotten up. The amount of times we've seen dunks tonight is sensational, and it's a great advertisement for the league as well. I want to be at every Centrals game from now on.
When you look at these these players and the attributes that all of them got, I mean, both South Adelaide and Centrals both have a very, very exciting lineups and can get up to throw it down. So Centrals particularly are definitely a team to watch when it comes down to that unpredictability of their extreme athleticism.
And Hoppo gets a basket, and that's a 6-point game. It is 2 possessions, 50 seconds on the clock. Dow will run it, gives it to Devon. He's not going to do it again, is he? And almost loses possession, passes out Centenaro. It's a bit frantic up in there. And what's he called? It's called the foul.
It's all right, they've got fouls to give, they've got time, and their pressure is all over them.
If that wasn't a foul, it would have been a cross-court violation.
Very, very close to stepping across the line, but Centenaro doing the right thing, bringing it out and trying to move the ball back around again, but South were just all over like a swarm.
And wasting and using up valuable seconds as well. This inbound needs to be good. Dow has it. There's 10 seconds on the clock. Dow drives, and they lose possession. Can Zinser control it? He does. They've got 30 seconds on the clock. The shot needs to go up. They need a 3-ball. And they've gone for the charge instead. Huge from Jordan Rewa.
And they're arguing the point.
But it's not going to do much.
That Rewa was inside that half circle. The contact, the force was certainly there, and if the force is there, you can't argue it really.
Yeah, there's one, and he was clearly outside there from that second replay. Yep.
Yeah, it's always handy to have the benefit of the replay from where we're sitting, but and they foul basically straight away.
And that will send the Lions to the line, and bar anything spectacular, he should go here and send his side to a win here, Jordan Rewa. Or was it Centenaro? Either or.
I think it was certainly Rewa who will step to the line to put the stroke of the exclamation point on this game, but we'll wait for the dot to come.
And Rewa makes the most of it. And Reece Turner hasn't given up. He calls a timeout.
We've seen 8 points in 30 seconds. We've seen these things can happen. They have a strange way of coming about. You get the ball down court, hit a 3-point shot, steal a 3-point shot. All of a sudden, in the space of 10 seconds, you're back in the game.
Absolutely.
Straight up. So, while it's relatively unlikely, it's still certainly something that possibly.
And looking around the grounds, the Norwood Flames have dealt the Forestville Eagles their first loss of the season in an 85-84 encounter. That's a classic. I'm sure if you look it up, you'll get more stats out of that. But that's crazy. The third place North Adelaide Rockets have also been dealt a loss. It looks at least. There's still a bit of time to play against the Pioneers. But with those results going that way, it could be positive for the Lions with a win. That puts them further up. Of course, North possessing that third place.
West Adelaide are above them on the ladder as at the moment. They play tomorrow, so if West Adelaide go down to Southern Tigers, which will be a tough game for them at the Tiger Cage, then that will certainly lock the Lions into the top 4.
And currently Eastern and Southern heading to overtime as well, so another classic encounter there. Turnage had 27 in that one, and that's going to continue. But we've got a game on here. Here's Hoppo to Zinsa. Zinsa has to shoot the 3. Gives it to Hoppo. Hoppo does instead, and that's not fouling. That's not hitting anything. All it's doing is fouling.
It is still falling into the abyss. Unfortunate miss from Jared Hoppo. Had to take the shot. That first 5 seconds of that offense had to be exactly what that was, but unfortunately didn't come to fruition for South Adelaide.
And the high court press becomes their last hope. That's a risky pass.
That's unfortunate. Unsportsmanlike foul will be called on Zinsa.
Zinsa, unfortunate.
Rewa hadn't taken possession of the ball yet, unfortunately. So if that happens, then and the foul is certainly assumed, it's going to be an unsportsmanlike. So just a little bit too eager to try and get that foul on Rewa as he steps to the line to put this one in the books, and he certainly does that with the first one.
Rewa, of course, putting up, if he gets this one, this will move him up to 25 points for the night. He's been immense. Only the 2 assists, but 5 steals as well to go with a plus-minus of plus 14 now.
A terrific game from the young man.
And, of course, spreading across the court, they've had so many contributors. Dow's had 15. You've got Luck, unfortunate with the injury, but he's had 17. Ding with 14. And Jones with 14 as well. About half of them dunks too. Turnover. There's the 3 in the space of 10 seconds, but they're going to dribble it out here. And Centrals are going to take the win at home, 87-78. A winning margin of 9 points, and they move themselves up into the top 4. A great game of basketball we've seen tonight, Benito. Yeah, it's wonderful encounter. So many highlight plays. Look out during the week on the Facebook page and on Instagram. You're going to see plenty of videos popping up because there were some sensational plays by Devon Jones, Jordan Rewa, Lil Ding, Ullman as well.
Jimmy Dow was huge.
Sensational. And the Lions get the win after all that. They move to 4 and 3. They move safely into the top 5.
They are a dangerous unit, and our thoughts are at the moment, obviously, as well with Chollock. Hopefully, there isn't too bad. Can't quite see him out there. He's there at the back. He's sort of hobbling around a little bit. Doesn't look too uncomfortable. A couple of smiles there. The young man would